Good afternoon, everyone. I would ask you now to stand as we welcome the battle-born patriots of the American Revolution. Color Guard, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Suzanne Mellick.
I'd like to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Shoulder on. Left shoulder, hard. Shoulder on. Right, face. Shoulder on. Forward. March.
You may be seated.
Thank you, Suzanne, and let's thank our Battlefield Color Guard. They've really set the mood for today, as well as the women in the back that are dressed in period pieces. Thank you very much. It is a privilege to welcome you here today as we open this special exhibit in honor of America's 250th anniversary of independence. This milestone gives us a chance not only to look back at events that shaped our nation, but also to reflect on the enduring ideals that continue to guide us today. We have many special guests with us today to thank and recognize. I personally would like to thank Suzanne Mellick, who has worked so closely with me to make this exhibit a reality. And of course, I thank Truckee Meadows Community College community for all the help they have given, including providing such a beautiful setting as the Learning Commons, conveniently close, by the way, to the genealogy department, which is right over here. To begin our ceremonies, I would like to invite up Mona Crandall-Hook, State Regent of the Nevada State Daughters of the American Revolution, who will bring us greetings.
Thank you, Marilyn. Welcome to everyone, and thank you for joining us today for the traveling exhibit, The American Revolution Experience. I am honored to stand before you as the Nevada State Regent of Daughters of the American Revolution, alongside the members of the Nevada Sagebrush chapter who worked diligently to bring this remarkable exhibit to Nevada. American independence was not inevitable. It was not guaranteed. It was fought for and won by the brave men and women willing to sacrifice everything for an idea, a hope, and the promise of liberty. As tensions rose across the 13 colonies, an entire generation faced a defining choice: to risk everything for the birth of a new nation, or to remain loyal to the British Crown and the security of the British Empire. These were ordinary people, farmers, merchants, mothers, and soldiers whose lives were forever changed by their extraordinary decisions. This exhibit is a result of a powerful collaboration between the Daughters of the American Revolution and the American Battlefield Trust. Together, we seek not only to preserve the history, but to bring it to life, to remind us that the revolution was not only about battles and leaders, but about people and principles. Through interactive displays, storytelling, and firsthand accounts, the American Revolution experience introduces us to the diverse voices of that time, patriots and loyalists, men and women, free and enslaved, all of whom shaped the course of our nation. This is more than just an exhibition. It is an invitation to step into the shoes of those who came before us, to see our nation's birth through their eyes, and to remember that liberty was not given, it was earned. May this experience remind us of the courage it took to secure freedom, and may it inspire us to carry forward that same spirit of resolve and hope for generations to come. Thank you, and welcome to the American Revolution experience.
Thank you, Mrs. Hook. I would ask Karen Dodrell, Regent of the Nevada Sagebrush chapter of the DAR, to bring us mayoral, those are easy to say, proclamations.
We did receive 3 proclamations, one from the mayor in Reno, one from Sparks, and one from Carson City. I won't read them all, but I will read some excerpts. Office of the Mayor, City of Reno, Nevada proclamation. Whereas on July 4th, 2026, our nation will commemorate the cinquentennial anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And whereas the milestone is an opportunity to reflect on our past, honor the contributions of all Americans, and look ahead to the generations who will carry forward the ideals of democracy and individual liberty that make America unique in the world community. And whereas the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, DAR, is a non-political women's service organization established in 1890, whose members are descendants from patriots of the American Revolution. And the Nevada Daughters welcome the American Revolution Experience Traveling Exhibit to Northern Nevada on September 8th through September 11th, 2025. And whereas from the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party in 2023 until the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 2033. Daughters are celebrating our nation's rich history and diversity of experience by honoring all men and women who achieved American independence. These patriots, believing in the noble cause of liberty, fought valiantly to establish a new nation. And therefore, I, Hillary Sheevey, Mayor of the City of Reno, do hereby welcome the American Revolutionary Experience Traveling Exhibit. From Sparks, Mayor. Whereas the journey towards this historical milestone is an opportunity to reflect on the nation's past, honor the contributions of all Americans, and look ahead to the future generations who will carry forward the ideals of democracy and individual liberty that make the United States unique in the world community. And whereas the great city of Sparks was founded by descendants of brave men and women who stood against tyranny, known as patriots, and risked their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor in pursuit of freedom, laying the foundation for the United States of America. Whereas, through DAR leadership, we will illuminate our legacy, reflecting our desire to recognize the legacy of men and women who secured our nation's independence, celebrate the legacy of our forefounders who had the foresight and strength to establish our national society, commemorate the legacy of the 250th anniversary of our nation, and most important, consider the legacy we will leave to the national society and our communities. Now, therefore, I, Ed Lawson, Mayor of the City of Sparks, do hereby proclaim September 8th through the 11th, 2025, as the Daughters of the American Revolution Legacy Week. And from the mayor of Carson City, and also a past honorary state regent of the DAR. Whereas on July 4th, 2026, our nation will mark the 250th anniversary of signing of the Declaration of Independence, a foundational movement in world history that proclaimed that the American ideals of liberty, equality, and self-governance. Whereas DAR's national theme, Illuminate Our Legacy, calls upon us to remember the courage of the revolutionary generation, honor the legacy of DAR's visionary founders, and reflect on the impact each of us will leave for the next generation. Now, therefore, whereas Carson City, as the capital of the great state of Nevada, was built by pioneers and patriots whose courage, determination, and commitment to liberty laid the groundwork for generations of Nevadans to thrive in freedom and community. Let this moment inspire all citizens to honor the legacy of our founding, celebrate our shared heritage, and rededicate ourselves to the principles of liberty and justice for all. In witness whereof, I hereby unto set my hand and cause the official seal of Carson City to be asphyxiated on the 8th day of September, 2025. Lori Bagwell, Mayor, Carson City. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Before I introduce our guest speakers, I wanted to actually thank, there are so many people to thank for today's event. Our marketing department, I have to give them a big shout out. John Hughes, our library associate dean, who has been supportive not only of bringing the community in, which I have been a real advocate for years and years, but the library staff who has helped me, build the genealogy section, the legal department who, worked tirelessly to get the contract signed for this event, facilities, maintenance, media services. I'm probably forgetting many, many people, but I just wanted to let you know that today was, it does take a village, it truly does, because without everyone's help, none of this, or any of the events that we put on to promote American heritage and history preservation would not have been possible. So with that, I'd like to introduce our first guest speaker. It is my honor to introduce Dr. Jeffrey Alexander, the president of TMCC.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Jeffrey Alexander, president of TMCC, and it's my honor and my privilege to welcome you here today and to thank you for coming. Before I begin, I'd like to also say a few words of thanks, and certainly to Suzanne for helping to put all of this together. But I'd like to welcome and recognize the Nevada Sagebrush chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, the American Battlefield Trust, the TMCC Reference and Instruction Librarians, the TMCC Learning Commons Committee, who've done great work to put this together, the Library Open Genealogy Lab, which is of course an asset and a real gem here in our community, our library staff and management, the maintenance team, TMCC marketing, media services, and all of the community groups who will have tables at the event for their efforts in bringing this traveling exhibit to our campus. Thanks to all of you. So what does this day mean and this milestone? The 250th birthday of America is more than a milestone. It's a moment to reflect on what that history means to each of us personally and as a nation, shaped by struggle, progress, and resilience. My wife and I immigrated to this country in 2007. We came from Canada with a shared history of revolutionaries and loyalists both. And we came here because of the opportunity that it presented. This is the sort of land where you can make things come true. And we have been blessed and very fortunate to be able to make that happen. We moved here with nothing except grad student debt. And the tiniest little U-Haul filled with furniture from our little grad student apartment, which we no longer had. And then we made our way here in the United States, one step at a time, gradually becoming permanent residents and ultimately citizens by 2014 and 2015. You might apply together, but your applications will go to different offices in different parts of the country. And so you'll be sworn in at different times by the same judge in the same courtroom in Milwaukee District Federal Court. And the judge told us at that time that it was his favorite day of the week. Every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, he swore in about 30 to 40 new citizens. And it meant a lot to him. And he said, I get 55 minutes, and I'm going to use all 55 minutes. And he proceeded to regale us with the story of the United States and how it is formed and how it has developed and how it is imperfect and it is always striving toward being a better version of itself. We moved here because we always knew the United States to be a place of opportunity and progress and democracy and freedom and self-determination. And we very much hope that it remains that for the remainder of our lives and for many, many generations to come, hopefully forever. And it's up to us to defend that. And that means sometimes we have to make sacrifices. It isn't easy, but I think we have to look into our hearts and ask ourselves what matters most. And it's occasions like this where we get to see indeed what matters most. To these people, it meant everything, and it meant to sacrificing sometimes all. I taught history for a long time. I was trained as an historian, and I started at the University of Wisconsin at Parkside, and I taught the history of East Asia and also world history. And there are countless cultures and civilizations and societies and nations that have lived without these things. And for this nation and in nations like it to aspire to more and better is noble. And I thank the groups who have come together to help us celebrate this day and to mark this occasion, because to us it means a lot. You know, we were born, fortunately, into a nation with much and plenty, but we chose to come here because of America's virtues and opportunities, and we have relished every minute of it. America has given us everything, and we're grateful for that. And we hope that together we can ensure the future generations will preserve it for their descendants too. And so finally, with once again, the value of this kind of program, I think we can see very clearly that it brings people together. It still means something. And I think beyond textbooks and beyond documentaries and Ken Burns' great work notwithstanding, it means something to each and every one of us intrinsically, and we need to fight for that. So in closing, once again, I want to thank our partners for making this exhibit possible and joining us all together for a renewed sense of responsibility for the future. Thank you very much.
Before he steps down, I wanted to award him a America 250 token. And thanks to you to Randall. I don't know where you are, Randall, but Randall financed the purchasing all of these wonderful tokens to give to our guest speakers today. So I'd like to present you with the America 250 token.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Thanks to everyone. Thank you, sister.
Okay, it's now my pleasure. Let me put my glasses on. I'd like to introduce you to Felipe Gutierrez de Alba. He's the director of our Veterans Service Department here at Truckee Meadows Community College. Thank you.
How you guys doing today? My name's Felipe Gutierrez. I was asked to speak on what service means. I served 6 years in the Marine Corps. I joined on a green card. I also am an immigrant. I didn't become a citizen until I was 25. I joined when I was 19. I went to Iraq before I was a U.S. citizen. I spent time in Iraq for 10 months. When I got back, I happened to hear that I became a U.S. citizen. They accepted my application. I remember showing up for that interview in my uniform, waiting to go swear in and take my citizenship test. Believe it or not, I still had to take it. It was a great day. And reflecting on service is something that I had trouble with. Service means something different to everybody. I can say that our students here, some of the reasons that I hear they're served might be economic reasons. It might be a family tradition. It might be, I'm trying to get away from a certain situation. It might be just to get a GI Bill so I can go to college and afford it, and I don't have to take any of that grad debt. I can only speak for myself. At the end of the day, I joined to find a cause, to serve something bigger than myself. And I think one of the things that we all can share is those of us that wore the uniform, at the end, you end up serving for the person to the left and to the right, and for the people back home. One thing I forgot to do is, if you're a veteran, please stand up. Thank you. Even though we have all served in different eras, in different generations, at the end of the day, we will all help each other out. I really want to thank everybody for coming out today and taking the time to come look at our beautiful campus and learn something about our wonderful history and celebrate this 250 years, and I hope it goes for many years more. Thank you.
And once again, I'd like to present him with the wonderful, beautiful America 250 token. Okay, last but not least, before I introduce John, I want to actually give him a heartfelt, from my own heart, I'm going to get emotional. Thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in my program. Thank you for supporting everything I've done. You've been wonderful, so thank you. Okay, I'll catch myself a little bit here. All right, so it's my esteemed honor, actually, to introduce you to John Hughes, our Associate Dean of Truckee Meadows Community College Learning Commons, and my boss. Thank you.
Well, Sue's going to make me emotional. Well, thank you and good afternoon and welcome. It's truly an honor to gather here today to reflect on the history, struggles, and legacy of the American Revolution. This exhibit reminds us not only of the sacrifices made in the founding of our nation, but also the enduring ideals of freedom, resilience, and civic responsibility that continue to guide us today. This event would not have been possible without the dedication and support of many individuals and organizations. So for me, I'd like to use my time to extend my sincere appreciation to the following. So President Alexander, thank you so much, and thank you so much for the office for supporting this. Appreciate that. American Battlefield Trust, Daughters of the American Revolution Sagebrush Chapter, America 250 Subcommittee members, TMC Learning Commons Committee, TMC Library Open Genealogy Lab, the TMC Library staff, MCC Maintenance and Marketing and Media Services. Our community partners who are joining us here today, so thank you so much for joining us. And for me, last but not least, Sue. Would you come on up, Sue? So for over a year, Sue has been working on this, bringing this event to here to TMCC, and she spent so much time and energy in what she's done, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you and all the things that you do. So just to recognize your efforts, I'd like to. And I understand you have a very favorite restaurant, so we'd like to do that.
Oh, thank you.
So just want to thank you all for being here today. Please enjoy the exhibit and our ceremony today, so thank you so much.
And I'd like to present you with the America 250 token.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm following tall people. Thank you, President Alexander, Mr. D'Alba, and Mr. Hughes. It is with great pleasure that I get to introduce Christine Hull, a personal friend of mine, by the way, Executive Director of the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement, as well as a trustee on the Washoe County School District Board. Christine is an educator, a nonprofit leader with more than 20 years of experience. She champions civic education, teacher professional learning, and modernizes school spaces that prepare students for active citizenship. Please join me in welcoming Christine Hull.
Don't worry, I'm also not super tall, so I don't even need to move it. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, everybody. It is truly an honor to be here and start to see all of our America 250 events start to kick off. I believe we've started planning America 250 many, many years ago, several of us. And so before we get started, I want to, of course, thank the Nevada Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution and the American Battlefield Trust for bringing this exhibit here. I often see exhibits like this when I go to Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia, and we don't often get that here in Northern Nevada for our students and our community to see. So this is really exciting, and I have shared it with our Washoe County teachers, by the way. I also want to thank the DAR for their leadership in preserving our shared history and inviting us all to reflect on the stories, artifacts, and voices that have shaped this nation. When we gather around history, we do more than recall names and dates. While that might have been the start of stepping into history for many of us, we've all taken a timeline test, I know. But really, history is about asking questions. Why did people make the choices that they did? What challenges did they face? And what lessons remain for us today? History reminds us that America has always been a work in progress. The revolution in 1776 was not just about independence. It was about those ideas of liberty, equality, self-government. And each generation has wrestled with those ideas, sometimes falling short, but sometimes pushing that promise forward. When we engage with history at any age, whether it's students in school, lifelong learners in our communities, or visitors in spaces like this exhibit, we gain essential skills: how to analyze evidence, how to consider multiple perspectives, how to communicate with clarity and empathy. We also cultivate dispositions: curiosity, humility, respect for others, that make us not only better learners, but better citizens. For me, history has always been personal. My love of history comes from my grandmothers. My Nana, who was a DAR member, showed me the importance of honoring and preserving our shared past. And my grandmother, who worked every single election, modeled for me that civic responsibility means showing up, participating, and doing your part in your community. They were both storytellers, women who believed that our stories mattered. And when I was growing up, there weren't a lot of women's stories in history. We mostly learned about the men, but I love that we see so many different people in this exhibit. They passed along to me the stories of not just our family, but a deeper appreciation for how our family's story fit into the larger story of our nation. From them, I learned that history is alive, and it shapes who we are, and that we each carry a responsibility to pass it along. That's why the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement and myself are committed, so deeply committed, to connecting history and civics. We believe that you cannot fully understand civic life without history. You cannot understand history without considering its civic implications. Through our programs, We the People, National History Day, and many more that we work with in our classrooms, I see students gain confidence in their voices, strengthen their critical thinking, and begin to see themselves as part of America's unfolding story. These are the skills our democracy depends on, skills that prepare young people to deliberate, to disagree respectfully, and to imagine solutions to the challenges that we cannot even guess. As we approach the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence in 2026, we have an extraordinary opportunity Milestones like this are not just about commemoration. They are about reflection and commitment. The words of the Declaration, all men are created equal and endowed with unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, continue to inspire and challenge all of us. We know that in 1776, those words did not apply equally to all. But over 250 years, through courage, struggle, reform, more and more Americans have claimed their place in that promise. The 250th anniversary is a time to celebrate all of America's history, the triumphs and the trials, the progress and the setbacks. It is time to acknowledge the contributions of people from every background who have expanded the meaning of we, the people. And it is time to ask ourselves, how can we live more fully into the ideals of the Declaration today? This exhibit is one way we do that work. By engaging in our past, we equip ourselves to shape the future. So I encourage you, as you walk through these displays, look closely, ask questions, reflect on your own connection to this history. Because history is not finished. It is lived and written every day, in our classrooms, in our communities, and in the choices that each of us make. On behalf of the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement, I'd like to thank the Daughters of the American Revolution for this remarkable contribution, and I thank each of you for being here, not only to honor the past, but to carry its lessons forward. Together, we will write the next chapter of America's history. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. I would point out Christine was kind enough to bring a lot of American constitutions here, little pocket-sized ones, so please take time to help yourself to one. It's nice to have one in your pocket at all times. You never know. 250 years ago next year, ordinary men and women made extraordinary choices. They dreamed of liberty, they struggled for self-government, and they dared to imagine a new nation founded on principles that have since inspired generations around the world. The American Revolution was not only a turning point in history, it was the beginning of a story still being written. We owe a deep depth of gratitude to the historians, curators, designers, and community members who made this exhibit possible. And we thank you, our visitors, for joining us to honor the past, learn from it, and carry its lessons into the future. As we celebrate 250 years of independence, let us remember that the revolution was not only about breaking away, it was about coming together as neighbors, as citizens, and as one people determined to build a brighter tomorrow. With that spirit in mind, it is my great honor to declare this exhibit officially open. May it inspire reflection, conversation, and a renewed commitment to the promise of America. Thank you and enjoy your journey through history. To send you on your journey, I would like to ask Hallie Starr, Nevada Sagebrush chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, to please come forward to provide a little music. Thank you all for attending and enjoy.
A British doctor named Richard Shuckburgh is credited for writing the words or lyrics to Yankee Doodle. And he did this in 1755 during the French and Indian War. The words were written to portray the colonists as crude, cowardly, and uncivilized. Shuckburgh referred to the American fighter as a doodle and a country hick. Americans embraced the mockery and added verses that mocked the British and praised George Washington. This song was sung as an anthem and victory song, so Yankee Doodle became a song of national pride in 1781. I'm going to share just 3 verses because there are literally hundreds of verses of Yankee Doodle. And you're welcome to join if you recognize the verse, and please join in the chorus because everyone here that's attended any elementary school or elementary program must know Yankee Doodle. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Father and I went down to camp along with Captain Gooding. There we saw the men and boys as dainty pudding. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. There was Captain Washington upon a slapping stallion, giving orders to his men. I guess there were a million. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Thank you.
I'd like to remind everybody there are vendors over here that have some wonderful things to look at, some pamphlets to take home, and there are cookies, water, popcorn, and other assorted things to keep you happy. So, thank you.